What's up,
What
man?
up, man? What's
How you
going
doing,
on,
brother?
dude? Oh, no, same old, man.
Yeah?
Excited. I
That's
feel
good.
like hammered assholes, but I'm good.
Oh, yeah? Why? What's going on? Is it work or are you sick?
My allergies, man. It's just I woke up this morning. This whole side of my face was congested.
Ugh.
This wasn't. So I just feel.
I hear some
doo-doo.
I hear some high-grade cocaine will fix that right up.
Do you have any? Because
I'm just saying.
Oh,
I have heard.
Oh,
And
yeah. How'd you hear about
Carolinas. I feel like you're asking a lot of questions. You live in the Carolinas. Don't be like those people in the military. Like, I don't even know where you could get methamphetamine. You're asking the wrong people.
Yeah, you're asking the total wrong people.
Don't ask the wardrobe. Ask the E4 mafia.
That's right. The E4. So, dude, we got a pretty good show for today.
We do. Our guests are Justin and Kim. Justin is the president of the Student Veterans Association at Old Dominion University. Kim is faculty advisor. So they're going to be in here in just a little bit to tell you about what they've been doing to help increase the veterans' presence and help take care of us for school. And then we're going to talk about how the semesters have shifted with the virus for the summer and the fall. So there's going to be a lot of really good information.
Nice.
Before we get into the fun stuff, let's go to the stuff that's going to get us kicked off the air, like the meme of the day.
Oh, the meme of the day. Dude, I got to give it to you. This one is high quality.
I'll tell you what, other than you, I almost exclusively associate with terrible people just so that I have good quality content for these shows.
Yeah, this is actually the one I sent you the other day is I want to show this out after too. It's the We the People.
Oh, that's those are always good. Yeah. There's never been a bad one.
All right, so here's the meme of the day. So horrible. What I love is the getting killed by the Clintons is fourth down.
Yeah.
In between accidents and cops. Like, what the fuck? But the best is the COVID-19. The guy's
taking at the bottom.
He's taking it to the face. It looks like he's eating a bag of dicks. That's what it looks like.
Oh, man.
Heart disease, cancer, accidents, getting killed by the Clintons.
That's my favorite one, hands down.
Cops, diabetes, the flu, Carol fucking Baskins.
Carol for the bitch, Carol fucking Baskin.
She knows she did it, dude.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Have you seen that new episode? I haven't watched it yet.
No, I haven't even watched it.
I'm almost scared to because I feel like the ones I watched were enough, and then I felt dirty afterwards.
It's one of those shows like if you watch it, it doesn't matter anymore. You will always watch whatever garbage they produce. You will be okay with Bird Box being, or the woman from Bird Box, instead of it being, I can't remember her name. I have a TBI moment, but you get it.
Yeah.
So throw up the one that you sent me the other day.
Oh, this one's good, dude. This is one of my favorites.
Put on your face mask. Eat a bag of dicks. We have
had enough. So I want to
hold the fuck up.
I forgot to tell you something.
Oh, okay. Send it, bro.
Glenn Marshall messaged me, dude.
Glenn Marshall, the one who thinks that all service members who die of COVID-related injuries should get a Purple Heart?
Yeah. So I'm going to read you his message.
Okay. Yeah, let's hear it.
So I get these messages from him.
Oh, multiple?
Multiple. Ready? At 2:21 in the morning.
Bro, go to bed.
So he sends me a picture of a chick in a hot tub.
She good looking chick?
No, she's ugly as shit. Then a thumbs up, and then he goes, "Will you talk to me now?" That's creepy.
Yeah. Also, you reached out to him and said, "Hey, come on our show, like as a guest."
Yeah. Then I put, "Dude, too damn early, man. It's 2:30 in the fucking morning."
That's a little weird.
And then he goes, "In around it the midwatch later."
Something ain't right there, man.
So, Glenn Marshall, I'm going to make this official. This is the third week in a row that I'm nominating you for the weekly Eat a Bag of Dicks person.
Oh, yeah. Hands down. Glenn Marshall can eat a bag of dicks.
Without talking to you, you have confirmed that you are a psychopath, and I don't want to hear shit you have to say.
I have not seen Glenn Marshall in person, but I imagine he could start a Harley.
Oh, he could. Yeah, he could suck a golf ball through a garden hose.
He could definitely suck the crow off a tailpipe.
Oh, that's without. Yeah, this is fun. Who can suck what? Wait, that didn't sound right. You know what I meant.
I know what you meant. I got you. So check this out, man. You remember a couple days ago I mentioned that Kim Jong-un was in the hospital?
Yes.
So now I'm seeing that not only is he in the hospital. Never heard that before. So I've not only heard that he's in the hospital, I've also heard that he's a fucking vegetable. But I've also heard that there is nothing wrong and the Supreme Leader is fine and back in his home.
I don't know why. It's so horrible to laugh at.
I think my favorite one is I've seen photos of his sister with Hillary Clinton's face over top of it, and it's like still not a president.
Wow. What?
Oh yeah. I've also heard talk about the president. I allegedly, and I should have,
Glenn Marshall's watching. He just liked the show.
Ah man, what's up, Glenn? Man, you were real fucking surprised in about 45 seconds.
Asshat.
Apparently, if you go to, you go to a website and you type in the address wrong, it tells you what you're looking for doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I just checked it to confirm. Somebody said this to me. If you go to donaldtrump.com / it's a bullshit. It says, oops, this is awkward. You're looking for something that doesn't exist and has a photo of Hillary Clinton behind the podium of the president of the United States.
No.
I shit you not, Billy.
Right,
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, share that, dude.
Well, I don't know how to do that. Oh, yes, I do. Hold on.
You're so
application.
I hate your face.
Shut up. Here we go. I threw it in there. Pull it up.
Pull it up. Wow.
The ultimate troll. I fucking love it. Somebody sat down there and was like, hey, Jim, look what I did. Oh, man, he's going to love that.
Wow.
Is that not the greatest thing you think?
Dude, that takes balls, dude.
Oh, yeah. That's somebody who was like, nah, fuck it. What's the worst that happens? He laughs and promotes.
What's the worst that could happen? Secret Service shows up, wants to know what else I got under up my sleeve.
We heard you had information on Hillary Clinton.
You know what, dude? I can't wait. Speaking of that, I picked some interesting cards from our pod decks. So for people that don't know, me and Hugh are one of the first ambassadors for pod decks.
You and I.
Me and Hugh. I like to speak incorrectly. So every show we're going to pick. So at the end of Thursday's show, we picked 2 topics for today's show.
Right.
Okay. So if you didn't hear us on Thursday, the 2 topics for today's show are why I quit blank and share a money saving tip. And we got 2 guests that are going to come in. They're going to play this game with us. But I picked 2 from while we were in the green room from each of our decks.
These are for tonight?
These are for tonight.
Okay.
And where is it?
I don't know. You tell me.
I'm looking, man. The whiskey's getting to me. Okay, here we go. Speaking of Hillary Clinton, I'm going to read this one. One of the questions today. This is from the interview deck.
Okay.
If you could look through one person's email without them knowing, whose email would you look through? I think we're all going to.
You can't say Hillary Clinton because obviously we all want to know.
I think that's an answer for all of us to give.
Oh yeah.
So we're just going to head check that box. At least one of our answers is Hillary Clinton.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to know. I just want to know.
I'm talking about things that we want to know. You remember, I'm sure it happens still on Facebook when people ask you. They're like, what if you could have an answer to one question, what would it be? I just want to know if OJ did it. I want to know.
Wait, didn't he?
I want to know.
Didn't he borderline admit it?
I think he wrote a book called "If I Did It." I just want to know, irrefutably, without question, if he did it. I don't want to know. I don't want to wonder.
On his deathbed, if you watch Dave Chappelle's stand-ups,
oh yeah, that's a good one.
Where he's talking about how he met OJ, and then at the end he goes, "You all know, he killed that bitch."
He killed her. I just want to know, man. I just wanted to be like, yeah, I killed him.
The best was when Dave Chappelle was talking about that, and he said he met Nicole Brown Simpson. The whole crowd was like, he goes, "Yeah, I met the late," and he didn't say that. He said, "I met Nicole Brown Simpson before she got all stabbed up," and everyone was like, "Oh,"
like,
"What?
What? You killed too soon. 20-something years later."
Yeah, it's not a spoiler alert. We all know what happened.
We all know what happened.
OJ killed that bitch.
Nice. So let's go ahead and bring in our guests. Like I said, Justin is the Student Veterans Association president at Old Dominion University, and Kim Bullington is the advisor of the ODU Student Veterans Association. Kim, Justin, thanks for being here. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Justin has to unmute his microphone.
Well, he'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I figured it out.
There we go.
He was on submarines. We got to cut him some slack.
Yeah, well, I'm not normally sober, so.
So,
anyway.
Kim and Justin, thank you for joining us today. We truly appreciate you taking the time out to be on Liberty Risk with us. How are you guys doing?
Great. Thanks for asking.
Awesome. Staying hydrated.
You guys enjoying the quarantine as much as the rest of the world?
I think I enjoy it more than anybody. I'm like a total introvert. I don't need to be around people.
You're one of those people that you're like, welcome to my world, guys.
Exactly. I'm like a fake extrovert in situations like this, but really I would just be happy doing this all the time.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm the exact opposite. I'm literally like extremely extroverted, and all I have to talk to is my wife, and it's well.
Damn,
I love her.
You've been married long enough. You can love her. Loving is one thing, but at one point or another, you've ran out of shit to talk about.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like can't
Until
talk about how we're
season
going to rearrange
comes
the fucking kitchen how many times.
I love it.
And has your alcohol consumption gone up or your carbohydrate consumption? If you had to pick one.
Alcohol.
More. Okay.
Carbs.
Yeah, definitely.
Both?
Little column A, little column B.
Yeah, little column A, little column B.
So, Justin and Kim, before we get talking about what it is we actually asked you here for, we want to give you guys the opportunity to be the first people to play pod decks with us based on the cards we drew from last week. So, Billy, you have the two with you?
Boom.
All right. Go ahead, Billy.
Okay, so 2 questions from last week are why I quit what and share a money-saving tip.
So let's start with why I quit what and why. Wait, it's why I quit what?
Why I quit what and why you're... Oh, God. Put it down, Hugh. What? You can only pour one at a time.
Maybe an amateur. Kim, why don't you start? What is something that you quit and why?
Sure. It wasn't until a couple of years ago, about 3 years back, I was like killing myself by doing too much. So at one point, I was a full-time doctoral student. I was writing my dissertation. I had a 2-year-old. I was teaching 3 classes. I was an advisor for a fraternity and a sorority, and I was just dying. I was not getting any sleep at night. So I was driving down the road, and a Kiss song comes on, and I'm like, it ain't a crime to be good to myself. It ain't a crime.
I love
so
it.
look it up. The song by Kiss saved my life, and it really changed my mantra. So I started dialing back a lot, and then I was able to put more energy into the things that were really, really important to me.
That's really cool, but I've also never, ever felt so inadequate until right now, realizing what other people can do and how much time and effort I'm wasting on literally nothing.
Yeah, well, it was not fun. It was not a fun time in my life.
No, over
And
the
how much?
sometimes
Did you
have
put
to
half
dial
of the
it
stuff out? 2/3 of the stuff?
Probably like a third of it. I still am very involved in a lot of things. And
Well, considering what it was that you were doing.
I'm sorry?
Considering what it was you were doing, a third is a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of stuff.
A lot of hours back.
Yeah.
Justin, what about you, man?
I love
Justin's over here like Papa raised a winner, not a quitter.
Yeah.
I want to give this.
things.
I want to give this answer, but
I guess being the president of a very large chapter on campus, like you tend to get like a little bit of too much of a care factor going on. Like you're just like you just want everything to go perfect continuously and basically just want people to give a fuck about what you're preaching over and over again. And then I listened to can't remember the guy's name. I think he's like the president at Paramount like Pictures or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he said that assumption is the mother of all fuck ups. So it's like I just quit assuming people would care, and I just did what I just show up. I'm just going to do what I do. If you don't like it, you don't like it. And I don't really want to be around you anyway. So
good deal.
Yeah, and plus that quote was pretty dope. So anytime I hear the word, every time I hear the word, well, I assumed I would just do this. Well, assumption is the mother of all fuck ups. So.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's pretty good.
What about you, Hugh? What have you quit?
I am slowly cutting out sugars. It's not a secret that I love rum and Coke. So I started doing some research.
No, you show everyone your fucking glass again.
Actually, it's a Stein, I believe. It's a Litri.
What's it made out of? What's it made out of?
God's tears.
The tears of Iraqis.
Tears of dead men. So I drink a lot of rum, and I try to Coke so I can go throughout the day. And so I went from Coke to Coke Zero because Diet Coke is for people who want to get cancer. And I'm switching from dark rum to light rum. I know, I was there when I said it. So I went from dark rum to light rum because dark rum, I guess they add more sugars to get the sweeter flavor. So it's not so much because I'm worried about my girlish figure as much as it is the longevity of my life. So
that's good. That's kind of like the same thing I did. I was smoking almost a pack and a half a day of
standard issue.
Yeah, no. I was smoking Camel Wides at one point, and it was just like I would sit outside. Like I'd go sit on the front steps of the house and smoke like 4 or 5 cigarettes at once, like chain smoke them.
Yeah.
And then when I had kids and they wanted to, run around and play and do stuff, I took 6 steps and was like, oh, I'm dying. What's happening? Take me. Jesus, take the wheel.
Take me now.
Yeah.
Jesus, take the wheel.
It was bad, dude. I was smoking so much, but I started smoking at 14 because I worked in the restaurant industry.
Jersey, right?
Yeah, no, in New York, in Jersey. Get
That's
the hell out of here. No, I'm not. No, Jersey, just to make it clear, anyone from Jersey has to understand that is New York's trash dump. That's where we put all our garbage. That's why if you ever go down the Jersey Turnpike and you start to get closer to New York, my daughters will literally contest to this. My daughter flat out said, Daddy, I know New York's close because it's starting to smell really bad. Because literally it's like the last stretch of the Jersey Turnpike is just like landfills all from New York. It's so horrible. Nice. But I quit smoking. I quit smoking, dude. I had to.
Good for you, man. So Kim and Justin in the beginning went up to Washington, D.C., correct?
Yes. And
you guys were you advocating for something that was already in motion, or were you raising questions that needed to be answered?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Basically, that's the correct answer. So the Old Dominion chapter is just a very small chapter. We're top 5 in the nation, fun fact, but there's over 1,500 chapters nationwide for Student Veterans of America, and so they have like their national, level like goals and things that they want to do on the legislative side. And
absolutely.
So we, being top 5 in the nation, we were invited to come up and basically go one-on-one with senators, governors, other legislative people. some of those
Committees.
committees. Yeah, we met with General Casey.
Nice.
Wow, very cool.
And just a bunch of different people of like a plethora of things that deals with student veterans, basically life on campus. One of the biggest one is just expansion to the GI Bill, trying to, the Forever GI Bill, which was just, passed the last couple of years, does a lot of great things. But like, if you're as most of us are, if you're married with kids, it doesn't cover everything you need. It doesn't give you,
not at all.
Yeah, it doesn't, and
it just gives you because your housing allowance is E5 with kids.
Yeah,
across the board, right? Across the board.
Right. So if you live in a place that has a higher AH, you're kind of getting screwed there and having to come up with some extra money, correct?
Yeah. So it was advocating for better housing, better, just more expanded GI Bill rights. One of the big things is there's still a clause on there that if you don't use it and you weren't in for, let's say, more than 10 years in the military, you can't transfer it to your kids. But you do like a 4-year career. Just you do your job, you do 4 years, you get out, you have this GI Bill, but you don't use it, right? Let's say you go in a contractor or something like that. You can't transfer it to anybody because you didn't
hit the minimum service requirement.
Exactly. But it's like, but you earn this, this thing. Why can't I give it to my child, for my sacrifice? And so that was one of the many things that we were advocating for. Kim, if you want to talk about some other ones, so I'm not always
speaking
talking.
of children, one of the things that we were advocating for was trying to figure out ways for childcare. Old Dominion University has done something with their childcare program, which is great, and they give a stipend to veterans and military affiliated people using the GI Bill that takes away this huge chunk of money that you have to spend monthly for childcare. However, the childcare is only open from 8 to 6 or whatever. So what do students do after 6?
Or if you have a 7 o'clock class or a weekend lecture.
Exactly. So that's one of the things we brought up. We also brought up the fact that although there is a book stipend and they will pay for required books, they don't pay for required other things like lab coats. While lab coats are not like a huge expense, it's still an expense that's coming out of your educational stipend that you're getting.
Right. If we're talking about 4-year study or 36 months of study, if you're in some of these fields that require extra books, if it require your extra credits, my Arabic class has a CD. I had to go buy a disc reader.
Exactly.
A lot of laptops
don't come with those anymore.
Yeah, because kids are, I shouldn't say kids. Students are going to go get $300 or $400 laptops. They don't have disc readers anymore. Lab coats, pencils, notebooks, binders. And then teachers have their own requirements. Like, I want your work organized in this way, and so on and so forth. That's probably money you didn't expect to have to spend. Exactly.
And if you think about it, what the GI Bill is doing for you is it's providing the income for you so that you don't have to do the extra work. You don't have to take a job unless you want to. Now, it also comes with really great benefits like the VA work study program where you get $7.25 an hour that's tax-free. You're doing something in your field within the university that's military related. So you're getting a benefit like that a lot of people don't take advantage of. So there are a lot of good things and a lot of great things with the GI Bill, but there's some pretty shitty things that still need to be fixed.
A lot of areas to work on, it sounds like.
Take care of.
So tell me about, all right, so summer is about to start in about 4 weeks, 5 weeks. So I know I had one class that was moved Jesus, I gotta get it together. I know that I had a class that was moved from in-class to online. Tell us how the bits are going to be changed for classes in that predicament versus a student who enrolled fully online.
Kim, you want to take that one, and then I can cover like GI Bill.
Sure. One of the things that people don't realize is the focus has really been on what the students have gone through. They're not necessarily focused on what the faculty had to do to scramble. And we were in the green room talking earlier, you mentioned your Arabic class and how your professor was trying to figure out how to really be effective at the teaching method that she, I think, was using.
Yes.
And so that's something that really needs to be paid attention to, because people who never plan to teach online are now teaching online. And that has a huge effect on how a course is going to be delivered. I teach completely differently when I'm in front of people than when I'm teaching in front of a computer, because I can sometimes not see what your faces and your facial reactions are.
Sure.
I can't tell if you're paying attention. I can't tell if you care. I can't tell if you're looking at your phone or whatnot. So there's these considerations that we need to think about. But moving to fully online for summer, I think it's a smart move to do for the university, because we don't know what's going to happen. Our idea is to keep everybody as safe as possible. And that's the only way that we can do it for the university at this point. And I think the university's reaction was pretty quick. You guys found out when we found out.
Right.
So,
it sounds like they're taking the safer bet, because there are places that are worried about a second wave, and the university is just deciding, we're going to get ahead of the curve just to be safe.
Yeah. And one of the things that they are still considering is what we're going to do for fall. Are we going to be online for fall also? Is there going to be limited classrooms? If we're in a classroom that only seats 25 people, how are we going to make sure that those 25 people are not spreading disease to each other?
Yeah.
Right.
We're watching all these videos of people touching everything with gloves and masks, when if you want to really, really, really commit, you touch a cart, you want to go grab an apple, swap that glove real quick, throw that glove out, put a new glove on, go back to touching your cart. Yeah. But it's just not feasible.
No, there's not that many gloves in the world right now. I can't even find fucking toilet paper.
I had to wake up at 7 to go to CVS.
I never thought in my life I would go to multiple stores.
When I moved into this house about a year ago, I bought a 48 mega roll, and I only recently had to go buy more out of fear that I was going to run out. I had the one roll for a year, mostly because I use the campus for everything important. But I had to wake up early and go get toilet paper. I was like, this is ridiculous.
So, Kim, we had a question from one of our viewers. It said, Kim, will this apply to all the SVA, or will it differ from the chapters for the fall?
What is this, Taylor?
Yeah, so just so you know, our comments are 20 seconds behind because of the software. So
Taylor goes to school in Tampa, Florida. So she's wondering if Old Dominion says in June or July we're going to stay all online, and because of this, let's say Old Dominion decides we're still going to grant you full housing and tuition because you registered for in class at what we've said you need to, but we switched you to online. If her university down in Tampa is going to do the same thing, or is it going to be a university specific policy?
Yeah, it's
is the
definitely
VA going to differentiate between each different universities?
It's very different per university, because each university has different needs. Each university students have different needs. I know that there's a website right now through the Chronicle of Higher Education, which is tracking which universities are going to have made the decision to go online or stay in person for the fall semester, which I've been kind of looking for, and Old Dominion University has not put in that decision yet, but that might be something. The online requirements for fall, if you mean for the post 9/11 GI Bill or the GI Bill, that is something that we were going to talk about too, because the Student Veterans of America has lobbied so that they can create the ability for you guys to get the housing stipend without having that one course where your butt has to be in a seat, right?
Yeah, that was when I was going to school. I was going to school here in North Carolina, and I wound up going. What was really hard was for the classes I had to take. One of them within the area study this for 2 semesters in a row was only offered from 6 to 10 at night on a Tuesday night. And the other ones that I needed to take were all online. So I had to sacrifice and to get the housing pay, because I'm a single father.
Mm-hmm.
So losing that money would have been huge.
Well, it's a massive difference. I couldn't believe the first time I had to do all online versus
for where I'm
the
at,
minimum amount is
a month. It was $18.10 a month that I would have lost. Yeah. So to lose that, So I had to figure out ways. And what happened was I wound up using all of that for babysitter a month anyway, just to get to this class. That's what it felt like. So it's like, yeah, they got to do better with this stuff for the veterans, because it's a culture shock, especially for someone like me. I retired. So, I joined when I was 18 years old. It was, I worked, from when I was 14 till I was 18. So I was out there in the workforce, but not in the capacity of a career job. So to get out of the military after that time, after I retired, and go, oh, wow, I really didn't realize how much of my pay was made up from housing.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a culture shock. It's really a culture shock. So yeah, it's gotta get better. They gotta fix something.
I think what's really weird for me is when I was going to college in Florida, I took hybrid courses. So I might have had to go to school 1 day a week for an hour and a half per class, and then the rest was online. And the VA considered that full time.
Yeah, and that was good enough.
Yeah, it was good enough. And now I come to Old Dominion, which, is a very different experience, because the hybrid courses are definitely geared towards people who are working. Oh, and now they're like, oh, hey, Old Dominion and the VA, we're trying to figure out, are you going to get your full housing allowance in the fall if we switch your classes from in-person to online, or if we do half exposure time and then online, will a lot of things to work out, it seems.
Well, that's why it's so important to have a national headquarters with the Student Veterans of America, because what they do is they lobby for us. And when they originally passed the legislation that allowed veterans and people using the GI Bill to do fully online without the penalty, that was great. But then when they realized that summer classes was going to be in the same situation, they lobbied to have that date moved back so it would affect the summer classes as well. So if this happens during the fall, they're going to do the same thing.
They're going to have the same discussion.
Yeah, it's that's what I was going to talk about. It's the House Bill 6322. It's the Student Veteran Coronavirus Response Act of 2020, and basically it's our national chapter and therefore us response to the ongoing outbreak or epidemic, whatever you want to call it. So basically, what it's done is it's guaranteed. No matter whether no matter how long you're in online classes, at least through the summer semesters, you're going to get your housing allowance. And that also includes that you're going to be able to still benefit from your work study paycheck as well. Because a lot of people that took advantage of the federal work study, they needed that money. They needed it goes off of state minimum wage. And for us, it's $7.25, which is, terrible. But they still utilize that money, to help supplement, their income. And that also will not go away either. So if you were already in a work study position that was already established, that's not going to go away. You're still going to get your paycheck. You're still going to be able to log your hours. The way that you do that based on your office and how they have, gone to teleworking, it's, completely on that, it's all dependent on those particular offices, but still, you still have the ability to still do your work study, and still get that paycheck, and that's that tax-free paycheck also. So.
Nice. Well, let me ask you, if students applied for grants or scholarships, if the school decides to go to fully online, is that going to affect any of the scholarships or grant money that might be coming into various departments for veteran students?
When you're doing grants and scholarships, you have to be very careful. There's one thing that I want to mention before I talk about that, and that's moving from a military salary to a student salary. A lot of people forget that when you do that, you're going to lose tens of thousands of dollars per year, right?
So much.
I would say about half.
Yeah, and one of the things that you can do
for you, Billy, maybe more, but we're talking about people that did 4 to 6 years. Because I remember my first deployment at 3 years.
It depends on where you get out from. Like I got out from Connecticut, and my housing pay was almost $3,000 a month, so I wound up losing $52,000 a year.
Yes, and I deployed with some guys from the North Slope of Alaska whose housing was more than my entire paycheck. You're right, but you're right. You're going to lose tens of thousands a year.
So my point is that people forget that they can fill out the FAFSA and they can do something with the financial aid office that says, hey, my income has been cut severely. Please consider my current income versus my last year's income. So that's one thing that I wanted to bring up that's really important. And then with the grants and scholarships, sometimes those will bite you in the ass, because what the university will do is look at how much it's going to cost you to be at the school for whatever that is. Let's say it's $20,000 a year.
Yep.
And let's say you get $25,000 in grants and scholarships. Depending on how that money comes to you, they can take away any aid or grant money that you get from something else.
Interesting.
Because you only need $20,000.
So they can hold that extra grant money against you.
Yeah. And
even though you might be coming off active duty in which you needed that 20 to 25,000
exactly.
as an example.
Exactly. So
Yep.
what you should do when you're looking for grants and scholarships is to look for the ones that will pay you directly and not go through the school.
Yep. That's what I had to do. I had to make
I did
sure.
not know that.
Yeah, I had to make sure it all came back to me as a refund from the school when it processed.
See, I've had that happen. I had that happen last semester, but I've heard that about athletes that get X amount of money and then they get grants that the school will deduct. I did not realize though that counted for. Okay, that's damn good information.
Yeah,
it's a lot of stuff that you have to be careful about that you don't think about. You know, oh my gosh, I got all this scholarship money and then all this grant money, and I don't have to pay for school at all. And then all of a sudden, you're losing a couple $1,000s because it's over the cost of the school.
Yeah, and you really need to speak to your veterans office for whatever university you're going through and make sure that you get with them and they understand and you understand and really stay on top of all that. It's not just something where it's a one and done, because I think a lot of the military members that get out, the veterans, they make this mistake where, like in the service, everything's taken care of for you. Mm-hmm. You know, yeah, you got to check up on stuff and do things here and there. But when you become a civilian, it's you, and that's it. And you need to stay on top of this stuff and crunch those numbers and make sure you're getting what you're supposed to get and stay on top of these people.
So, Justin, I got a question for you.
Unregimented to, you're going from regimented to unregimented.
Yes, right. Absolutely.
You did 4 to 6 years where somebody else took care of most of your paperwork, and now all of a sudden you're like, a file cabinet costs how much money?
Mm-hmm. Sorry for interrupting.
Justin, I got a question for you, man. So the university, let's say the university makes its decision in June, whether it's we're going to go online, we're going to do half online or what have you. Is the SVA going to be open at any time in the fall for computers, for services, the lounge area and the advising and the offices? Are you guys having an online operating hours? You know, how's this going to work for people who have questions or need resources?
So regarding like anything like ODU paperwork related, you have to go through your military connection center. Something similar to that is like at a different college could be called a veteran service office or veteran resource office.
Right.
They the naming always changes. The military connection center, which you can access, you just Google it and get get access to that. They're conducting telework right now, so they're still having normal operating hours of 8 to 5. Nice. And a lot of those workers happen to also be VA work study workers, but they do have full-time faculty and full-time staff members there that do that job, and they'll continue that. They're doing that for the summer. They'll be conducting online orientations for the summer. So the plan is, if hopefully it doesn't have to happen, but if it goes the fall, I would assume, and I'm not going to assume because assumption is the mother of all fuck ups, but I would guess.
Pepper it in.
I would guess that it would be business as usual, like it has been. Now, regarding the lounge and all of the spaces, that's something that on campus we advocated for immediately, was to have those spaces become available. And basically the response that we got was the campus is closed to non-essential personnel as long as the governor's order is in place. So it really will depend on how that looks in the fall. So say we do go online in the fall. If there's no real governor order and there's like a 6 foot stay at order, like a 6 foot
distancing
thing. We have been talking to administration about, having all of those spaces available, and then us trying to figure out how we're going to coordinate all of that stuff.
Sure.
But I will tell you this though, that if it can be open, it will be open.
Okay.
That's 100%. It just
Awesome. That's good to know. That's really good. It just depends on the governor and what he decides.
Yeah, it really is up to the Old Dominion. The university said that the campus is going to be closed due to this pandemic, and we'll let you know when it reopens. So if they like I say, relax on those, then you can
expect to come back.
You can best damn believe that we will be at least in the ears of the administration to allow those resources, because that was one of the immediate questions. Is like, hey, can I access all this stuff? Because not everyone has an access to a well-functioning computer. Not everyone has access to a quiet space or a printer or whatever. You name it, name the resource. So that the plan is, if we can have it open, we'll have it open, and we'll make sure that whether it's the NCC staff or Military Connection Center or the SVA's SVA via volunteers and our executive board, we'll make sure it's ran the way it would normally be ran.
Good deal.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Kim, I have one more question for you. Would you say that do you feel that you've had more traffic regarding communication with students since the shutdown?
It's hard to say, because one of my real jobs is running an online program. So I have a lot of online communication with students. I would say that it's different communication. A lot of the time, everything starts with, hope you're staying healthy, right?
You're like, get to the good stuff. Come on.
Exactly what you want, and so I can get whatever I need to do done, right?
What
But
do you need from me?
exactly. But I think I am as busy as I was when I was on campus, just differently. So I don't know if you guys can see
different types
this.
of emails, different types of questions.
I had to go in and steal. I actually got permission to have
acquire.
Tactically acquired, correct. That's behind me. But I had to get permission to go into the building. I had to get permission to get the printer. This is just so that I can work more effectively.
Right.
But the working is different. I've gone from 2 monitors to a small laptop screen. So that affects my productivity, for example. So for me, it hasn't been as noticeable communication wise, because most of my communication was online anyways. But I think for a lot of people, they've had to make several different kinds of adjustments that they weren't ready for.
Right.
This pandemic's just completely thrown a monkey wrench into so many things. It's going to be really, like we've been saying, really, really interesting to see, as you're talking, like the fall could still be like it is now.
They could be like, we're going to be safe. We're going to show you
what's going to happen. And I think that's what the scariest part of all this is the unknown of where it's going, and trying to mitigate and do the best we can with that. Simple things like you getting your printer, not having 2 monitors. I used to work with 2 monitors, and switching to a 13-inch laptop, I was like, it gave me anxiety, because I wasn't able to get done what I needed to get done, because I couldn't shift the screen to screen and open up more.
It changes how you decide to prioritize things and the manner in which you're going to work.
Yeah, you have to adapt. You have to completely adapt.
Well, Kim and Justin, we really appreciate you guys coming on tonight. I cannot thank you enough.
Yes, you guys are awesome.
It was great. I'm sure you didn't have to put in a lot of effort. I'm sure Justin's not wearing pants, and I'm sure that was nice.
I'm actually wearing pants.
You're not wearing pants.
Not wearing my thong, but I'm wearing pants.
Oh, good. You put it on backwards last time you told us. That was a horrible.
Thank you both very much for coming in. We're going to post this to the Liberty Risk podcast page and our personal pages. You guys please feel free to share this as well. Billy and I have said it a couple times before. We're working on cutting out content and posting content videos. So we're going to work on cutting out the section for just you guys, so that the students who have questions about what we talked about tonight will be able to get their answers without having to hear my drunken stupor and Billy being, oh, Jesus, we need a lawyer. And so
having minor heart attacks on the legal side. But also, just so you know, after we finish going live every time, I post this to 40 different Facebook veterans groups. So this information is going to get out there, and hopefully some of them are at ODU that didn't know about this stuff, and it helps them out, and just veterans in general, where now these little resources might help. So,
I will
say one thing, and I would very much, recommend that everybody follow the Student Veterans of America social media sites, because you get a lot of information from them. They are really working to advocate for the needs of student veterans in a way that a lot of other veteran service organizations have not been as effective doing. So
and we're and with social media, we're on. All you have to do is just Google it. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, Instagram, we're even on LinkedIn. Just Google hashtag ODUSVA and you'll find us on any of those platforms. And another thing is go to our national chapters website at studentveterans.org. You can do studentveterans.org/resources. It'll take you directly to the resource page. And
cool.
And they'll post on that. Also, I recommend following them on Facebook, because even though we have a great, because we are one of the top chapters, we have a great working relationship. I have a lot of their staff members in my phone, and I can text them anytime. But we get most of our information the quickest off their Facebook page and off their Instagram. So Student Veterans of America, follow them. They post things. I try and make my public affairs team post as much things as they do, and it's physically impossible. I mean, they're
over there like, I'm not putting on pants for this.
Yeah, exactly. It's like in the past hour, they probably posted 3 things, and guarantee probably one of them is relevant to you. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's like,
that's awesome. They got a good social media team then.
Yeah, it's like sometimes I'm talking to their chief of staff, Will, and they're like, "Well, have you seen our recent post?" And I was like, "No, fuck me. All right, let me go pull my head." Find something out. Anyway, but yeah, definitely follow us on Facebook. Follow them on Facebook.
Absolutely.
And then also, if you have like one-on-one questions that you for like a more want a one-on-one answer with, ODU student veteran at gmail. That's our email. I have it linked to my phone. I typically get to responses within an hour. So you can either hit us up on any of the social media accounts or send us an email, and we'll get you your answer.
Yeah,
we'll make sure when this video is posted that we put all that information, the Facebook, the LinkedIn, the email. We'll make sure that that's included in the post at the end of this too.
Yeah, just send us all the information to either Hugh or myself. And we've had actually a couple of questions about that in comments. I posted one from Taylor. She wanted information for like the tax-free work study programs and stuff like that. So anything we've talked about tonight, send us all that information. We're going to make one big post. And like I said, I'm going to post it across 40 other veteran sites on here. And also we're going to start doing it on Instagram, YouTube, and all that stuff. And it's going to be up there. So we're going to get this information out. That's our biggest thing. That was one of the biggest things, me and Hugh, not just to get on here and have it be an outlet for veterans to vent, talk about things that, just interest them, but also to be a good informational resource for veterans that, situations like this, when we have pandemics, when the COVID-19 hits, what do we do? But again, both of you, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you guys on. Thank you so much for taking the time. We would love to have you back on once everything gets updated and you can update us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Justin, we'll be in touch. Thanks, Kim. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
All right, you'll have a great night.
Yeah. Bye. Cheers.
Dude, that was thank you, Hugh. I gotta thank you, Hugh, for that. That not just because you go to ODU, you were able to get such
thanks, Tommy. I appreciate you. Love you, mean it.
A great
man. I mean, we were talking about, we want to get more people on, and honestly, I was a little nervous tonight before the show. I was like, this is like our first real interview. Like, it's good, dude. Up to this point, it was just a bunch of a-holes that we know. We
can't fuck off every time. You know what I mean? I haven't said it. I haven't said the F word.
1 out of 7. We're good there.
Fuck shit pissed. Okay.
Fuck shit pissed, motherfucker cunt.
Oh, feel better. Pour myself
Bro, so before we do the money saving tip, I want to tell you real quick. I'm sure you noticed it. I'm sure you've been seeing it on social media.
What?
White people complained so much. And I just assume it was white people because
Damn,
We're the worst.
ass honkies.
We're the fucking worst. They
It is a Hugh can.
true that. They removed the Native American person from the Land O'Lakes.
Hold on. Who is they?
Well, the company, I don't know what they refer to themselves as. I don't know what they identify as.
He's talking about the whites. He's talking about the whites.
People who make too much money said, ditch the Native American, keep the land.
Fuck you, Bill Gates.
Anyway.
So they cut the Native American person off the Land O'Lakes box, and people are losing their fucking mind about it. And I think you should replace her with Elizabeth Warren for a nice middle ground.
Yeah, dunking her into a lake.
Yeah. Well, she's 1096th Cherokee or something allegedly, right?
Dude, that was one of the most ridiculous things.
Wow.
I wound up
I've seen some dumb shit.
When
But
Trump,
top 10 is Elizabeth Warren going, how, motherfucker?
when Trump talked about that, I just happened to watch that press release that day, dude, and I was laughing so hard. You ever laugh so hard you gasp because you have no air?
Yeah,
left in
you're
your
like,
lungs?
here's how I die. It's by laughing so hard.
This
I think
guy
it's
right
fucking
here.
hilarious because I'm sure you remember like when they were trying to get the Redskins to change their name. They're like, oh, it's cultural appropriation.
It's really hold on before you say anything. The Redskins logo, the Indian with the feather.
Yeah.
That's my high school fucking logo.
Of course it is. I'm sure because people are out there like, well, it's cultural appropriation. If you've ever had a little tiny child and said, look at your little Buddha belly, you don't get to say cultural appropriation because your kid's fucking white.
Listen to this. So I went to Comsawag High School, the Comsawag Indians. All right, a lot of Long Island towns.
I'm not trying to be fucked up, but I imagine your mascot was a Redskin.
Dude, on the gym
It
wall.
stands to reason.
On the gym wall, 2 Indians on horseback with stone axes.
Oh yeah,
To scalp someone as a motivational mural.
because before we had participation trophies, we had people with actual balls.
What? Yeah, because we would go to the gym and like during a basketball game, be like, that's my school.
Yeah,
That's
you
awesome.
can culturally appropriate this dick.
Yeah. and that goes back to fuck you, Glenn Marshall.
Fuck
Anyway,
you,
you fucking piece of shit.
So money saving tips is the other half of the show, correct? That was the second card, money saving tip.
I have a
All
great one. The one of the best ones, I really think.
Is it use debit for hookers so you don't have an interest charge on your credit card?
God, we are good friends. I was gonna say, don't waste your tips on the hookers, like
cash or otherwise.
Yeah. If she comes in with one of those old credit card readers, tell her to get the fuck out. Like,
Yeah, no.
remember those things? Remember where you put the credit card in and they're like, kush, kush.
Yeah, when they used to make
And
the
they give you
copy
back the
holder.
carbon copy. They're
Yeah.
like, here you go. Thanks for
Carbon
shopping
copy. I
at
haven't heard that
Macy's.
in a while.
Did you like your leather coat? Thank you for coming to Macy's.
Yeah, thank you for coming in, Macy's. Money saving tips. I'll give you.
Oh, Justin, no worries, man. No worries.
Justin,
Glad to have you.
you're more than welcome to come back at any time, whether it's in an SVA capacity or you just want to get drunk and shoot the shit.
Tell your
Poddex and us
wife
are here for you.
If she's watching, the next time she needs to plan the dog walking more, so she's not in.
Talk about ahead of time.
Yeah, come on. We got.
I mean, it was nice to see her. Tell her we said hello, but
these women from Long Island, I don't know,
So, a couple money saving tips. I'm going to give you 1 minute real quick. I use the app Roundup. So whenever I spend money, it automatically rounds up to the next dollar, takes that change and puts it in a savings account for me. It collects interest,
Does that
I think.
really work?
Yeah, I mean, turns out I swipe my fucking card a lot. So like I got a decent amount of money in there.
See, I still carry cash, dude. I usually
Well, it's because you're from Long Island.
What the fuck, dude?
I'm just saying, if you're Italian or from New England, you probably carry cash.
You know what? That's a really accurate statement.
If you're Italian or from New England, you carry cash. It's cool, or San Francisco, because you're not buying in. I get it. It's not, it's not.
My God, what the fuck? My grandfather used to tell me, always keep $100 on you at all times. Put it in your stock.
I knew a guy who used to say, always carry a $100 bill in the pocket of your jacket in case you get mugged. That way you give him the 100 and you don't have to give him your wallet.
See, my grandfather always said, keep it in your sock. Because if they get it from your sock, then they really needed it.
Well, and you're not needing it anymore.
Yeah. So
I use Roundup. rounds up my change, puts it in an account or whatever, collects some interest.
That's awesome. You know, I gotta
Yeah,
look.
see, there you go.
I gotta look.
It's a good one. Another one is
What bank is that, Kim? Just curious. What is it, like Bank of America?
talking about banks. I know Wells Fargo, I think, has it, but if your bank has a program that will tell you what your recurring payments are, so you can go in and find out if you're paying for things you don't know that you're paying for because you don't log onto your account very much. So you can go on and cancel those. As an example, I downloaded an app and connected it to my account, which if you do, be careful because obviously nobody's reputable and everybody's selling your shit to China.
Yep.
So I found that I was spending like $70 a month or between 2 months on these reoccurring payments that I didn't even know about. So I was able to save, technically. There you go.
Well played. Well played.
There you go. Wells Fargo.
Well played.
So they'll tell you what you're spending extra money on, and that's money back in your pocket. I sell things on Let Go and OfferUp.
Yeah, I do Facebook Marketplace. So
Yeah,
I do that.
I'll tell you what, man.
Me and my daughters, we go through. Actually, my girls just did it today. Actually, right there, they got three bags
Right there.
and some toys and stuff. Right there, it's right there.
Dude, it's things you didn't even know you didn't need.
I'm letting you know that it's to my right.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Not
It's
to
to my left.
Not to my left. It's not here.
So it's all shit you didn't even know you had.
Yeah,
shit
it's
you
on
don't need
Facebook
anymore.
Marketplace. Yeah, I had like I sold an old kitchen table.
There you go.
The guy was like, I had 6 chairs to it, and he only needed 4. He's like, I only need the 4. I don't want the other 2. So I just threw them in the storage closet. They're actually out there. I have a guy. I put them on Facebook Marketplace for like $50.
Yeah.
And this guy actually messaged me today. He's like, hey, man, those chairs match the ones that I have in my kitchen. Can I come by on
Perfect.
Sunday and get them? I'm like, yeah, come pick them up, bro.
Dude, I just sold I had the series of Friends and DVD. I just sold that. I've sold old tools that I'm not using or didn't need anymore.
I truly believe, like, if you haven't used it within 6 to 9 months.
Yeah. Dude, a coat hanger, old speakers. I sold my amplifier.
People will buy anything.
Yeah. And you know what? It's extra money back in your fucking pocket you didn't even know about.
And you know what I usually do with the money is I usually whatever the amount is, I split it in half, and half goes into, debt or savings, whatever I need to do. And the other half I just spend on like me and the kids. Like I'll take them out for milkshakes, or we'll go to a movie, or whatever. And then that way you're not spending the money you have in your account.
Right. And what you're talking about, you take half of that money, you go spend it on whatever. The follow-up to selling shit on Let Go, get a jar to put your change in of some kind. I have like a 2-foot tall plastic Coca-Cola container that I drop my change into. I know people get the 5-gallon or 5-liter.
I just bought one off of Amazon for me and the girls to put our change in.
Yeah, there you go. And then when it's full, you're gonna have to spend some of that coin on a coin separator. Take that shit to the bank. Buy yourself a Harley Davidson.
No, seriously, my buddy filled up a 5-gallon every time he went. What he did was he was very adamant about paying for simple things like gas, or like going to the gas station and buying this and paying for it in cash. And whenever he had just coin change, every day he would go. It was his ritual when he came
home. He emptied it into the container.
3 years later, that thing got to the point where he was like, it was funny. I just kept doing it, and I wasn't really paying attention to how much was in there. And I got to a point where I went to drop it in, and it was so full that two pennies actually wound up spilling out. He's like, so I took it to the bank. He saved $7,200 in change in a 5-gallon jug.
I know a buddy of mine retired in Florida, and through his time in the military, he was doing the same thing.
That's right. I should have.
He did the same thing. He just put the money in. And when he retired, he bought him and his wife a motorcycle.
Yeah, see, you
can save it for 10 years.
It's amazing.
That was the one thing that they would haul to their new duty station in the truck, so they didn't have to pay the movers for the weight.
You know what's funny is my grandfather's friend told me this story. This was when I was a little kid, and they were, my grandfather. I was about 10, 11 years old, and they're teaching me about saving money. So this was, you can't really do this now, but this is way back in the day. My grandfather, he was born in 1910, just to give you an idea, how old he was.
But he was alive when the Titanic sank.
He had an outhouse and no electricity in New York City.
I think it's 1912.
An outhouse and no electricity in New York City.
A Starbucks?
No Starbucks, dude. They weren't really big on the East Coast then. So his friend kind of screwed up, lied to his wife, and made her believe that he only made half of what he really was. And he took half of his paycheck and put it in an old wooden chest.
Okay.
And they lived in an apartment complex in New York City. The way the apartment complexes work, like my grandfather lived in an old brownstone, and this is kind of where he lived. You have to go down to what they called the cellar, the basement,
Sure.
and that's like the main laundry room. But they also had, for your apartment, storage units.
Oh, okay.
So he had an old wooden chest that, he just told his wife, this was given to me. I just keep it. He had a lock on it. But he would go down there every month and put half of his pay in. Did it for 50 years.
Holy shit.
So when him and his wife passed away, before they could ever spend the money, his grandkids went down there, unlocked the chest, and there was $3 million. $3 million.
Jesus Christ.
And it was all like stacked neatly.
Yeah. Well organized, ready for fucking vacation or retirement.
The funny part is some of the bills were so old that they wound up selling some of them to collectors and wound up making another $1.5 million.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Talk about a fucking score, man.
So to me, savings is, I treat savings like a bill.
Okay.
All right. So savings to me is just like a bill. And I put X amount of money or percentage of my retirement into it every month. I have to pay that bill. If I don't pay that bill, I'm going to be behind.
Sure.
And I've actually tricked myself and tricked my mind into thinking that way.
Yeah.
So that way it's a good way to set yourself up for a goal.
For success later on in life.
Well, you should really have whatever you're making monthly. You should have at least 6 to 9 months of that saved up for an emergency fund.
Yes.
And
you never know what's going to happen. Like a fucking pandemic is going to put you out of work.
Some people out there, if you're fortunate enough, you make $4,000 or $5,000 a month times 9. Yeah, you should have $50,000.
Yeah, it's just like we talked about was one of the earlier episodes. If you have that kind of money, then maybe being non-essential isn't that big of a deal. But those people that we know that work in food service and they work in tipping industries,
small business owners, dude.
Small business owners that every single penny counts, and they're like, we're going to commit, we're going to go all in, and they don't save. I think, you're right. Hopefully that kind of information.
My girlfriend, my daughter's grandmother, they're both hairdressers. And they're considered small business owners or independent contractors. So, it's hard. It's hard right now. So
especially if you're on a small business, you need every single penny. It's kind of hard to put money away. You're just like, if I can do more now, I can save better later.
I love money. So
I'm Italian.
Yes, this is very true. Thank you for telling everyone over and over today. It's very
I just want to remind people that there's a possibility you have mob collections, and if we go big, it will not be because of me.
What's the mob? I've never heard of such things. What's the mafia?
Is it like a respect thing?
I don't know what you talk of. First
Billy,
first rule of the mafia is you don't talk about the mafia.
Billy, let's go ahead and pull the 2 cards for Thursday's episode. Which deck is this?
It's the episode deck. Episode deck. So I'm gonna do a quick cut the deck reel. All right. So tell me when to stop.
Stop. Card number 1 is
replay your most downloaded episode or watched. That would be episode 1 for us.
Hands down, episode 1. How many views on episode 1?
Almost 3,000.
Ooh!
Yeah. So we're averaging now. And I totally attribute this to us saying fuck, shit, piss all the time. About just about 1,000 views. We're doing okay. Yeah,
the show's not for everybody.
For seven episodes, I think we're doing pretty damn good.
Yeah, and we got to keep in mind the show's not for everybody. It started as you and I just wanted to complain, and then it turns out 1,000 people a week want to watch us complain. So much so, Billy. Before you drop the next card, I checked our metrics. 37 people have blocked us. I'm so happy. 37 people said, I hate that shit so much, I never want to see it again.
37 people have blocked our show?
Yes. I know. Bad publicity is still publicity. Because people are it's gonna come up in conversation, like what's something you blocked or whatever. Oh, ex-girlfriends, ex-mother-in-laws. Oh man, this really shitty podcast. And they're gonna go look it up. There's 10 extra people right there. Thank you to the 370 new viewers.
Yeah, like that's insane. I love it.
I'm all about it.
We're doing something right. All right, tell me when to stop.
Stop.
3 things I wish I'd done differently.
No, I want to drink next week. So replay our first episode. So instead of replaying the episode, why don't we go back and we'll each pick one thing from the episode that is still relevant? Because consider the first episode is about 4 weeks ago.
Yeah. So
we can do
that.
We'll each pick something from the episode to talk about and update the people about it. And then the next one will be 3 things that we wish we did differently.
All right. So there's the information.
Boom. We're going to copy and paste all that information there, Justin, and we're going to post it up top.
So real quick, I am and we talked about this earlier. I'm trying to look up. I want to know if Kim Jong-un's dead.
Oh, I looked it up earlier. I cannot find the answer. I will be checking
so
every day.
Confusing. Like, why is it? Why?
Because I want to know if he's dead. Because if he dies, I want to know if they're going to say it's COVID related. Because I heard they're trying to say Jeffrey Epstein died of COVID related complications.
Please.
Because you can't hang yourself from the bottom bunk with a sleeve that tears at a small sneeze.
Oh, look what happened! The security camera happened to go out. Oh, look!
And the guards left their post. And I had information on Bill Clinton. You would think that like 55-gallon drums found on the Clinton property containing body parts would have been enough, but they keep sticking around. I'll tell you about that next time.
I can't. All right, Hugh. Thursday. We're going to be here Thursday, right?
We'll be here Thursday. We have a guest lined up. I'll post the details tomorrow.
We're going to save it. We're going to surprise everyone.
Yeah, well, shit happens, and I don't want to say somebody's going to be here and then they're not here. Or
we have a guest.
Yeah, we have a guest, and you all can suck it with not getting the info. I'll give it to you tomorrow.
Our okayest Marine wasn't here tonight.
Oh, yeah. I thought I felt depressed.
Fuck
Chris.
That son of a
shit.
bitch. You know what, Chris?
It's not like he's working.
You know what?
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to call out the world's okayest Marine with a moment of silence. All right, fuck him.
Yeah.
Shit. He's got nothing else to do in his fucking life. The least he could do is be here. Chris, I'm going to call you when this is over.
Don't become a Glenn Marshall.
Don't be a Glenn Marshall.
Yeah. Dude, don't be a Glenn Marshall.
Glenn Marshall.
No one wants that.
All right, Billy. I'll see you on Thursday, brother.
All right, take it easy, brother.
I love peach chicken grease.